All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Frieren, episode 27. Two episodes left and one test.
And one test. So
Okay.
I don't think this test is going to be that complicated.
No, I'm anticipating like a question or something. Like something that is either somewhere along the lines of like, have you learned your lesson? Or but something that is not the, okay, now we need you to go and do this objective thing because...
Or do anything that has to do with combat / magical, like...
Yeah.
Prowess or anything like that.
Right, or maybe something where they're by themselves. So that way it doesn't actually take much time in the show because you just show maybe like Vern and Frieren going through it.
Right. I also would love something along the lines of testing the character of these people, because one of the things that's been kind of fun about this was that Senza's test basically brought them out of all that competition stuff and ended up having them work together. You know, basically like, hey, you know, the North is pretty crazy right now, so you're not going to survive alone, you know?
Yeah.
So if this next one is something that kind of puts a cap on everything, like kind of is like, okay, everything that you got there, that's cool. But in order to have the final way where all of that will actually matter, did you get this? Like this,
right?
What would be that littlest thing?
This could be where they basically showcase more of the feeling of the organization rather than like the individual proctors having their specific test that they want to do.
You know what it's going to be? It's going to be hide and seek. And it's going to be like, how well are you at concealing your mana?
That's kind of what the first one was.
Well, no, right. But I'm just finding a way which it can be something that's like
where both Frieren and Vern just sort of go,
yeah, exactly,
yeah.
Right. Something where our main two girls are just like, this is easy.
Neat.
Yeah. And then the others are like sweating, like, oh shit, like, oh my god.
Yeah, the two of them just like are like, it's the whole thing where you have the test and then like the one person like just, you know, leaves the room in like 10 minutes and it's like,
yeah. What do they know? I don't. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Also, that would just be fun as a thing to just bring the focus back a little bit more to the main characters, because this has been a series of episodes primarily dedicated to introducing these side characters.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm still kind of in that area where I'd like to see them enacting their own goals, which can't really happen in the bounds of this section of the story.
This is something that they're doing so that then they can get back.
Like
to
I want to follow up with Denkin when he's doing his thing, you know, like in the North. Like I want to see him disconnected from all this. I want to see, you know, Richter running his shop. Like I want to see Ubel being her Ubel self, but not, you know, in this whole bounty of things.
That change of environment to shift up the dynamic.
Right, and if we can get any bit of that in the next 2 episodes as well, like even just everyone's setting off on their own, like, you know, individual directions and stuff, I'd really like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, this guy. Yes. Oh.
You haven't taught me anything.
Yeah.
Let him live out his old person fantasy.
Yep. Oh.
I haven't done anything.
I think she's just hungry.
Oh yeah,
that's the I'm biting my bottom lip because like you know, can we go get some food? I'm really hungry.
Like yeah.
An era of humans.
Okay.
Ooh. Fun. Oh no.
What'd she do?
Oh. Yeah.
You've just had it for 10 years. What's the big deal?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not about...
Right. Right.
Oh.
Yeah, because what do you do if it can't be repaired, right?
Everything ends eventually.
Nah.
No, yeah. Just kiss already. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I would like that.
Gonna see if she can figure out how to make it work. Got no problem with that, right? And why are you here?
No.
Yeah, ever heard of rubbing salt in the wound? Right.
True. True.
Okay, so not too bad of a mood to
Yep.
not be able to make jokes.
There you go. I'm just on the other side of learning your lesson. Yep.
Sure.
Yep. I just have 40 years of wisdom.
See, this is why I got excited when I saw Denkin's character design.
Mm-hmm. There's hope even for you.
In the grand scheme of things, it's just 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh, had they been traveling together before the test?
He just kind of looked at some things, moved them around. Hey, yeah.
A different old person.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Maybe not this one.
Yeah. This last little bit has just been about things I can't do.
Right.
Yeah. Damn, it really was obliterated.
Mm-hmm. You can't rush art. Still not saying you can't do it.
Yeah. Oh, I can tell there's a lot of... Yeah, there's a lot of love put into this. Yeah. Yep, there's the hunger. Yep.
Still hangry late at night.
Yeah. I love that it's not even serious. She's just doing this.
Uh-huh.
No way. Did he just finish it? Frieren's kid. Yeah. There it is.
Nice. And that meant that Frieren stayed there all the way until it was
The whole
fixed.
time, yep. I mean, what's a 6-hour wait? You know?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
That's nothing, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, she cares about you.
Yeah.
All
Test
things
3.
considered.
A solid number. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Was that 12?
Oh, that look to the side was nice.
Yeah. Okay, we got a whole bunch of them. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
not supposed to happen.
全員協力型の試験は大いに結構だ。今の一級魔法使いには協調性がないからね。
You were trying to emphasize that. Yeah.
だがその中にあって
Yes, there is.
Kind of might have thrown things off a bit.
Right.
おかげで実力に見合わないものまで大勢合格した。
Although, really, she also made it more difficult, so...
そいつらは全員死ぬことになる。全然。それはお前の望みとはかけ離れたものだ。それに私とて、そこまでの無駄死にはさすがに望んでいない。ジェリエ様。謝る必要はない。
So then none of them should be first class mages?
には異例を。
Oh, so we're gonna...
私が担当する。
Ah.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
So City's
I had a
gonna try
feeling
and
that might
fail
happen.
all of them, basically.
Yeah.
Just
従来の担当はお前
A
だった。
peaceful selection.
yeah.
After saying they should all die.
No, because they would die if they did a typical third test.
Right.
今に始まったことではありませんから。
So this will be the...
私はフリー
I'm just gonna kindly say no.
Right, it's the-
no.
Good job on getting this far, but this isn't supposed to happen.
別大な魔力です。ゼイリエ様に匹敵するほどの。
Jeez, that's just what they're wreathed in right now.
Yeah.
Dang.
You'd have to be an elf.
Yeah, impractical. It'd take too long. Yep, that is her thing.
Right.
Yep. And what made her a brilliant slayer. So the test is not going to be about that. Right. But that's with regards to the idea of lifespan. Again,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Right. So that's a situation where it is very helpful.
So she went all the way to the end.
Yeah.
Right, and that's just
Okay.
humanity's advancements. They become better at mana detection.
Maybe he's concealing his own abilities.
Well, no, it's just he's really good at detecting mana.
半世紀が過ぎた。
Okay.
お前は臆病な坊やのままだな。それだけに残念でなら。
Fun, kind of to take things in the context of that being 50
Yeah.
years.
追い先はもう短い。
Hmm.
フリーレンと戦うことはこの先一生ないだろう。それがたとえ勝てる戦いであっても。
Wow. Fun.
やはり人間の弟子は取るものではないな。
They always
Well,
confuse
okay.
me. Yeah.
結局あの子にも見えなかったか。私の魔力の揺らぎが。
Oh, this is you concealing it?
An interview.
Nice.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Let's get some questions.
ゼーリアは私とフェルンの
Cool.
から
Yeah. Yep. Frieren's like, I know what's going on. Yep.
Mhm.
Dang, okay. Wow. So, Frieren will get failed.
Right.
Like,
So then do they end up just being like, all right, we'll just break the law then and go out there?
well, no, I
on
think
our
what it would
own,
have to
or-
be is that they would have to have, because Stark doesn't need it. It's just that they need at least one of them to get it.
Right.
So it's
So maybe
It's-
Frieren
it's-
fails and Fern passes.
yeah, it's got to be Fern then. Like,
Yeah. Fail.
不合格だ。
理由を聞いてもいい？
今もお前は私の魔力に恐怖を感じて
whoa.
自分の身の
that
丈
a
がよく
good
分かっているん
thing?
だ。一級魔法使いになった自分の姿がイメージできないだろう。魔法の世界ではイメージできないものは実現。
Okay.
Okay.
基礎の基礎だ。帰れ。不合格。不合格。
Oh, cool.
不合格。
Whoa.
不合格だ。
Ah, here we go. Here.
お前も一級魔法使い
Because I think
Right.
it's stupid.
Yeah, it's a dumb, recent little thing, you know?
受験者
Yeah, for a very different reason.
Right.
お前は私が合格を出すとは
Oh, that's why. Yeah.
事実でしょ。一度だけチャンスをやる。好きな魔法を言ってみて。
Oh,
花畑を出す魔法。
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
フランメから教わった魔法か。
Fucking Flamma again.
くだらない。不合格だ。
Okay.
Yeah, don't care.
愚弄されたのに食い下がりする
I don't care about your opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
ような魔法使いが魔王を倒したとは到底信じ
The
られない。
Demon King was easy.
私一人の
Yeah. Yeah.
ヒンメル、アイゼン、ハイター、私。一人でも欠けていたら倒せなかった。
Whoa.
Yeah, but not in the way you're thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. but that was enough.
Oh, but you saw something else. She made it feel the flowers. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow. And that's her favorite spell because it was his favorite spell of hers. Yeah.
Well, and just a simple way to cheer him up.
Yeah. But
She
she
can't
inspired.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah. And if they hadn't done that, then the
Right.
Demon King would still be alive.
それからゼーリエフェルンも同じように不合格にするつもりだろうけれども多分それはできないよ
Oh.
あの子はゼーリエの想像を
Oh, let's go.
Okay.
Set it up.
の時代がやってきたんだ
Fern's dealt with me this entire time. She has.
何が想像を超える私の魔力を見て立ちすくんでいる他の受験者と何ら変わらん
Someone like Frieren.
No, she's just impressed.
何が見えている
Someone lonely.
揺らいでいる
Oh.
フェルンとか言ったなお前私の弟子になれ
Okay.
嫌です
悪いようにはしない私ならお前をより高みへと連れて行ける未だかつて
Oh, I'm gonna tempt you with power.
高みへ
Are you a
Well,
greedy human?
no, but I think this is a serious thing.
Yeah, yeah.
関係があるのですか
あるかもしれない
But I think this is a legitimate offer
Yeah.
because Ciri thinks about things different than Frieren.
Yeah, yeah.
The tempt of power, that's what she'd want her to say.
Right.
So she has to surprise her even then while
Yeah.
not giving the answer she wants.
Oh. Whoa! Whoa! Right. Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Huh.
次
All right.
Awesome. Watch
that.
watch City not fail everyone after just because Fern's presence and just very like, yeah, I see what's going on. Yeah.
I think she
Just
still will.
changed her mind, you know?
I think she still will.
I think
and
she
then
might
she's
pass
gonna be
Denkin. I think she might pass Denkin.
maybe, but I think she's gonna be then really frustrated because she's gonna be like, "All right, what spell do you want?" And Fern's gonna be like, "One that keeps people from being able to see through your clothes," you know, or something like that, right?
I think she's gonna ask for something that allows her to like season food or something like infinite flavor choices, you know?
Someone
like,
a spell that will make it so that a person no longer needs sleep, you know, and then she just casts it on Frieren.
she's gonna ask for, can I have create soap, you know?
for baths or something she can throw at people.
Right. All right,
Okay,
we have ourselves
test is
an
done.
interview.
Yep.
We do have some other side characters that will need
Right.
to have their pass.
Have it
pass or
get
fail
confirmed that they're failed or
Because
not.
I think Fern's whole kind of demonstration here is going to give Cyria that little bit of like, okay, maybe I'll spend a little bit more than 2 seconds, you know, evaluating them. Because I like the idea that Senza's tests was weird because what we had reminded here in the beginning of the episode was that tests of this nature has a lethal element to them, and
That she didn't do.
Or
Or rather, she gave a way to safeguard against that.
Right.
Which, to be fair, in her defense, it's a safeguard against it that makes it so that they fail the test.
right.
So, you know, that's...
Yeah, a lot of people did fail the test. Like,
Right, like, it more feels like it's a problem of, like, the tests that were decided to be done of the going into that dungeon specifically because maybe it hadn't been cleared before. It proved to just not be as challenging as they would have hoped, you know.
and also probably because of Frieren made it more challenging and less challenging.
Right, because like the real challenge that was like the real time that Frieren was actually like participating the most rather than like dinking around and like looking for stuff.
Yeah.
Although I guess she did find something, but was with dealing with her copy.
Herself, yeah.
Right. So that's you know that's kind of a balance, you know, like a neutralizing kind of situation there.
Right.
But
yeah, the idea that when we get all this characterization from Serie, it's okay, she looks at the group of them and goes, okay, what we would do for a typical third test obviously wouldn't involve me.
Right.
We'd have another one of you proctors do this and run this, and with how weak they are, or at least a lot of them are, maybe not all of them, maybe that's where the distinction is that they kind of went through the ones that had the least amount of promise first. So that's why Verbel and Denken and Ubel weren't, you know, in that initial wave of people just fail.
right. If Fern did change Siri's mind in some way, then maybe some of them will pass.
Right, or maybe just one of them. But the idea that we need to be able to rely on you to deal with shit that's going to be, you know, worse than these tests.
Right.
But it still feels like to me that if you're not in an impatient kind of standing with the way things are, then things must not be that bad up north.
Right. Like, yeah, like okay, it's danger, like, because this
you're
is
winning basically. You're already you're already having things go through that there, but it just then feels strange that you would make it be a thing of, Frieren can't go up there. I guess.
So there is at least a status quo because we are not needing more people to go and fight up there.
Right.
This is a thing for your protection. Only first-class mages are allowed up there. But also, if you want to become a first-class mage, we're actually going to do a bunch of things to make it so that you'll probably die. So that's not the reason. It's just a control of information.
Right.
Okay, that's a fun potential mystery.
Right. But then that's characterization for Serie, which is basically that I don't want just any person to be given access to the higher, level magic stuff. But what does that have to do with going north?
And then also, like the way in which it's resolved here of like fail. I love that from the standpoint of City.
Yes,
right?
It's good characterization.
Good characterization.
Yeah.
I like it. She's old and stubborn. It's a nice contrast to Frieren and everything.
Very nice contrast.
All of that stuff I love. Given the fact that we spent a bunch of time on this arc where we're supposed to get invested in the journeys of these characters as they go to overcome these struggles and all that stuff to get here, right? And then we do this, it's sort of like, if we end up getting invested like the show wants, then this ends up being unsatisfying because now it's like, and none of that matters.
Well, right, but none of that matters for these characters. And that's why I think they made the point of not having the more popular characters literally be in that first half.
Right.
And this is the part where also you kind of have to take a little bit of a grain of salt with the whole thing of like all these characters matter, because you can very clearly tell by the design, the character focus, the types of ways that they talk, the lines that they're given, which ones are actually important. And that's why we zeroed in very quickly on Denken, because there's multiple things that connect him not just to the themes of Frieren as an anime, but also with the type of way like his character was demonstrated to everybody else here. He's the old one. He's the one that has just enough perspective to know that time is limited and he needs to do this.
Right.
He needs this desperately. And I would be very disappointed if he was failed in the same way that these other characters were, because I did get just enough invested with him that I'm like, yeah, I
Right.
want to see him go on a journey up north. I want to see these characters bump into him again.
And yet, if he
Yeah.
does end up passing, like, cool, he passed. I am a bit more attached to Dinkin, so that's kind of me getting what I want.
Right.
But also at the same time, then it just feels arbitrary because he just happens to not go in before Fern. And then also, like, having anytime you have a situation where somebody that is as ancient as Ciri, right? Where even Frieren is like a little child, you know, and the whole mana thing is a way to showcase that, right?
Yeah.
Having them actually change their mind about something, right? Old people in our world are stubborn enough, right?
Right.
I'm stubborn enough. I can only imagine how stubborn someone would be when they're almost all powerful and they've been around for what, tens of thousands of years or something,
Probably.
right? Like, they're not going to change their mind easily. So Fern passing, yeah, they established the thing of like her being able to sense the detection and the mana.
Well,
Okay, that's cool, I guess.
Most
you know,
of
but-
the things with Fern are not actually with regards to them understanding her character, because Ciri doesn't know
really
anything.
care about that.
Well, doesn't even know anything about that. Forget whether they care about it; they
Sure.
just don't know Fern.
Yeah.
So all the things that we've built up with Fern as being a character that we're attached to because we know who she is, not what she can do. Oh, we show rather quickly that her thing is that she excels at being able to detect mana, and also her classic thing of being able to be very, like hidden with her
Yeah.
own mana suppressing kind of stuff, which is
Right.
something that she naturally had before she even met Frieren.
Yep.
But that's something that doesn't really apply as much to the other characters. So she would have to have Ciri would have to have a change in perspective that has to do with something beyond just the capacity of these other mages. It would have to be something of a personal nature. And unfortunately, I don't think we've gotten enough characterization with Ciri to understand what that is. So I hope that they focus on that in the next episode. I want a lot more internal perspective from Ciri.
Yes.
And we
Yeah.
did get a little bit of that here, but
But I will say,
Yeah.
not a lot of it was internal. We got perspective of Ciri interacting with other people, but a lot of it was talking to them, doing things like, oh, that, concealing mana is actually impractical, except it's actually not. It's really helpful in this situation, but you're not as strong if, all
well,
that
it's
stuff.
also the idea that humans specifically, you're going to waste your life learning
Right.
how to do that, and you won't end up being a good mage.
Yeah,
for,
and that's-
anything else. you
Right,
know?
and especially not, for the standpoint of demons and everything. And that was a cool way to answer that question that I always had of like, wait, why isn't mana concealing like the meta? Oh, okay, there you go. Only an elf or somebody like that would reasonably be able to do it because it'll take so long. Cool.
Yeah,
But
and
even
demons are already better at detecting it anyway, so all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
would be wasted against demons anyway.
right, but then from within the standpoint of like, for all the time that we got to see Ciri interacting with people, I still didn't feel like I really had a read on them. Like that they're so detached and kind of like see themselves as above humans because they're ancient and all of that stuff, that I didn't feel like I could actually get a full read on the things that Ciri was noticing in Fern that made them change their mind, or if they had already changed their mind when just as a result of, say, talking to Frieren, right? So yeah.
Yeah, Ciri's got that enigmatic quality to her. But the aspect of having her thing that they wanted to use as the shorthand for it was that Fern could see the mana fluctuations.
Makes sense. She's been traveling with Frieren.
Yeah, exactly. So she's experienced with looking at somebody who's going to have incredible amounts of mana condensed into this tiny, tiny little bit there that she could then see the minor detections within that as well.
Right, because there would only be those tiny little fluctuations, and only somebody who'd been traveling with her, for basically her whole life would know to be able to pick up on those,
Right, and so with someone that's got it even larger, but that's actually a form of concealment. Yeah, that's rather fun. But yeah, I love the idea of an interview. I think that this was needed. I think that as an anime, I don't follow well or really vibe with magic tests, really, and the way that they end up getting written in a lot of these stories. They seem to play very safe and or like kind of I don't know, they're just kind of boring.
You're
so
like, because you're in a new world that, you know, the creator's making, right? Then if you have like a magic system or whatever, then it's okay, we have to introduce that in such a way that it will feel both wondrous and complex and all of that stuff, while at the same time the audience understanding it enough to feel like they can actually track with the reasons why this worked but that didn't, and this is earned and all of that stuff.
Yeah, and I think that we hadn't gone enough world building in the areas that the show wanted to focus on in order to do that. So the fact that we then end up having the third test be this anomaly that's an interview is such a breath of fresh air for me, because one, it's faster. Two, I find it way more interesting to see characters talk than to see characters shoot, you know, energy blasts at each other.
Well, and that's where the, like, even at the end, I'm the fact that it was still based around Fern's capabilities, it seemed like, more than actually the interview.
Not just that, because she then offered her, "Do you want to be my student?"
Right.
She might have already made the decision in her mind to pass Fern, but she didn't ask that after she'd passed. She asked that before to try and like maybe pressure her a little bit to be like,
yeah, it's a way to basically quickly get a look into the nature of the person, right? Regardless of whether that affects whether, you know, Siri is going to make Fern pass or fail or whatever, right? It's okay, what kind of person am I dealing with here?
Yeah.
And that's the other reason of why I feel like the interview style of things works, is because then you could theoretically have it be a situation where effectively all of you have kind of passed already because you've already done all this crazy stuff, but like, okay, what's the actual deal here? And instead it's no, what, 12 of you? That's way too many. Like, we can't have that many first class mages. That's ridiculous, you know?
I'm not going to be handing out, you know, spells to all of you.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And
I also think that at the very like base level, if you want to have some kind of enigmatic like order over humans with the growth of specific people ending up getting access to the spells before that, I can see why you'd want to keep someone like Ubel down a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I can see why you'd
feed them just enough.
Yeah, I can see why you'd want to be a little bit careful in that regard. But again, I need more characterization from Serie. But yeah, this is a very, very straightforward and simple episode, but it was a breath of fresh air because while we got the interview, we also just got the time with Fern and Frieren and the backstory with Himmel and the idea of, your staff was kind of obliterated, Fern. And Frieren stayed with Richter and just kind of just waited with him for that
for him to fix
whole
it.
day, late into the night as he fixed it.
And that, I really like that, because it felt like a return to the strengths of this show, of the characters and things like that, but then also like just that kind of, I don't know, more mellow approach to things. Like the magic is the backdrop that is wonderful and exciting, but that's what the characters dance on, you know, right? Like, and so the idea that it then connected back to their journey as a whole, and also like I kind of got the sense that maybe like she not only could necessarily get a new staff for like cheaper, she could get a better one. Like that's something that Richter gave her, and I'm sure he gave her a good one, but it's still you're a child learning magic. Here's a staff for you to, you know, to use.
Who knows?
Right?
Who knows? But the other thing is that this ties into the inefficiency angle with the Field of Flowers and also the mana concealing, is the idea that there's a lot of things that people do, despite having short lives, that is inefficient and or kind of the waste of time.
Sure.
But that's something that comes from the perspective of someone in this story, who I love that Zeria exists in this story, because we can have that contrast to Frieren, is seeing it as a waste of time because you can't imagine, what do you know, this world of magic where things need to be imagined in order for them to be that to be possible. A world in which they see value in that. So in some ways, City A,
You're the most limited.
There's a whole world. No, there's just a whole world of magic that you're never going to understand.
Yeah.
And that's why we're in the era of humans right now, is that humans are going to find all these little spells. They're going to create with their like folk magic, all these tiny little things that have nothing to do with getting better at magic, but about making their everyday life just that little bit more happy, just that little bit more peaceful.
Because it's something that a lot of people have ready access to, as opposed to, oh, hey, it's only the, random few people every century or something that are often, hermits off somewhere, learning magic. And then they have to, like, because of the scarcity of it, they have to pursue it in a particular way.
Right.
As opposed to when it's something that everybody has access to. Yeah, you could get a situation where you have some kid that's just like, nah, I don't want to be like a mage, but like magic's cool and I learned how to use it to make a field of flowers or something like that.
Yeah, or
put orange juice in my sister's milk,
right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The kind of stuff that is going to make them smile. And the idea that Himmel's smile, Himmel's joy, if you will, by Frieren's indirect use of a bit of Flamma's magic, saved the world, is kind of fucking awesome. Like, I love those little serendipitous things there where it's the, like, yes, we have all the context already done. We don't get to see it play out from the get-go. It's all encapsulated in a single memory. But the idea that, you kind of chastised Flamma as well for having that, like, useless magic. But it was a bit of useless magic that ended up making this kid, because he told me, like, I had forgotten about it. I saw it as a useless, maybe, just a small, tiny little thing that really didn't even matter. Maybe that was Frieren's also first time actually like using the spell for another person.
Well, I could absolutely.
She might have even seen it as kind of like this kid's feeling bad. Do I have a spell that can help a kid feel better? Yeah, Field of Flowers, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know how to interact with this person's emotions, but I remember this thing that my master did way back when. Sure, in lieu of head pats or a hug or a kind word or whatever, I'll just do that and see if it helps. Oh, hey, it did.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think that's a wonderful way in which this show can use Frieren in her, kudere-ness to kind of slowly piece together the emotions of humans and how actually powerful they are, how important they are.
That it's not how long your lifespan is, it's the living that you do, right? Like yeah.
So I'm excited to see what spell Fern's gonna pick, because it's gonna be some Frieren ass type of spell,
I want to see, like, I'm excited to see what they do with Ciri's response to Fern's choice, whether it's like a derp face or just like a, because like
a Fern just kind of disgust,
right? Like Ciri is not phased easily, right?
No,
she's been around for a very long time. But if, you just, when faced with something that just breaks your brain, right? With all your infinite wisdom and all that stuff, you're still an idiot, right?
Right.
And then it's just,
Sure.
Ain't that a bitch, right?
That's great. I have, spells that allow you to, bend probability. And you wanted soap,
right. You wanted one that will make it so that you can perfectly cook a Hamburg steak every single time.
Ooh,
right? Like,
that's a good one. A temperature regulation spell.
Yeah,
where you can create an area that like perfectly, like you can perfectly manage the temperature of,
Right. Something so innocuous
and silly.
Actually,
that sounds actually pretty OP now that I think about it.
Well, yeah.
There's some ways you could use that.
Depending how far you lean into the JoJo logic of, I can conjure a tuna sandwich in my left hand on Thursdays after midnight, right? Like, yeah.
Oh man. But it's also just fun to see that, like, while we are probably going to be moving away from the magical society of this world as they go into the north.
Right. They literally move away from it.
They literally move away from it. I would love to see these characters, maybe when they see that Fern passes, go like, wait, like
What's different? Yeah.
like what spell are you picking? Like what, and then maybe just even like I got a spell that does
no.
this, and they look at her like, wait, is there something we don't get?
Yeah, no,
and
and
that
then-
would that would have a fun ripple effect of the way
Sure.
it would change the way they think.
See, you have this like very like centimeter way of looking at it and such. Whereas I'm seeing all these people that are going to be pulling their hair out, wondering what the fuck did you do? We didn't even get to say anything, right? And they're going to be trying to figure out what was the thing that made Siri choose differently for this random person, and they won't be able to figure it out, and it'll drive them nuts.
I think that's possible. I think they've already run crying from like this area. Just
sure,
like,
yeah.
Fuck, I have to wait
the-
another 3 years. You know.
Well, okay, and not only that, I have to go into the next test, which should be even harder, with the knowledge that I might just get to the end and it's like, nah, you guys did too good. Just stop, go away. You fail. Come back in another 3 years. You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if Siri really wants to weed out people and see who's like, you know, who really wants it. I mean, this is a way to do it, because if that doesn't, like, you risk your life, you do all these things, and then this happens, that doesn't break your spirit. Like be careful out there. No one wants to
soldier.
see you go hollow. You know, right? Like, yeah.
But all right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all
next time.